Welcome to Artemis Oracle and Tarot, a sacred space for seekers on the moonlit path. Here we hold space for complexity and honour the intuitive, the unseen and the in-between. The cards that I use were designed by me and they feature divine masculine archetypes to assist with introspection and healing. We all have a relationship to masculinity regardless of our gender identity or sexuality. So, if you've arrived here, know that you're welcome and there's a place for you. A reminder, these are general readings, so take what resonates and leave behind what doesn't. And without further ado, let's jump into your astrology for the month. Starting with Mars and Mercury in Sagittarius. Mars in Sagittarius brings lots of energy for adventure, learning and exploration. You might find a strong pull to new experiences that expand your horizons. But with Mercury in retrograde, you may find that the energy expresses itself a little bit more internally. You might find that you're less inclined to discuss or process externally with others, favouring a more inwardly focused approach. On November 18, Mercury will continue on its retrograde path back into Scorpio, where it is joined by Venus, which has been there since the beginning of the month. Mercury in Scorpio is about uncovering hidden truths and digging beneath the surface for deeper understanding. Paired with Venus, this brings an intense emotional and relational flavour to it. Passions, desires, and sometimes uncomfortable secrets may surface. The November full moon was in Taurus, drawing unconscious attention to security, home, and beauty. And the new moon arrives in Scorpio on the 20th and may bring a subtle resurgence of the month's earlier intensity, particularly prevalent in dreams and subconscious activity. Hi Capricorn, and welcome to your monthly reading for November. I hope you've been well since we connected last. I will be doing a traditional spread with you today, the Celtic cross spread, the simple version, and just with a slight twist, using like an integrated oracle and tarot approach to the reading. So we'll start off by shuffling our oracle cards and selecting those, and then we'll do the same with the tarot. So what I might do is get that all set up for you, and when I come back we'll run through what the spread looks like, what each of the positions mean, and then we'll jump into unpacking that for you. So I'll be back. Well, for you, it will be in 1 second. All right. We have selected the cards, so that bit's done. Let me take you through the Celtic cross spread and what each of the cards indicates, and then we'll uncover them and see what's happening for you this month. So in the middle, underneath here, we've got the current situation. And above it, or just kind of like laid over, we've got the challenge or the, what's blocking you. Beneath here, we've got the foundations to the situation. Over here on the left is the, recent past or in the lead up to where you are currently. Above, there's the expected outcome. And then over here on the right is kind of like what's going to immediately follow in the future. Assuming, no change. Whereas, the way that I like to use tarot is it gives us insight into what's happening, the dynamics of what's happening, and then we can make choices that have flow-on effects. All right, let's see what we've got here in the center. So in your current situation, you've pulled Hades. And Hades speaks to natural endings, love through grief, and release rituals. So I'm getting the sense, Capricorn, there's something has come to an end. Could be a relationship, could be a change in jobs. It could be, it could be the loss of someone that we loved. A friendship, coming to a kind of conclusion. Any of these sorts of things. And Hades speaks to acknowledging that grief and working through it rather than trying to avoid it in order to move on. And if there's things that have been left unsaid or unacknowledged, that can continue to kind of like prolong that mental energy, even if that person is no longer around. So, or if you're, no longer working with this person or they're no longer in your life, it's not always death. And that can do a real disservice to us, right? Like if we are caught up in our head over someone from the past, then we're not fully present in the future. And if that person, for whatever reason, was like triggering or challenging, we can also start to read into other people's behavior, similar signals, and mistake them for being the same as, that other person. And that can be, that can lead you down some red herrings, if that makes sense. So, let's have a look at the challenge and see if it further illustrates anything. So you've pulled Mammon here. And Mammon speaks to materiality, feelings of kind of hollow success, or fear-fueled greed. And so it might be that either you or this person who's challenging you, or who you've found a challenge, or who's no longer in your life, has kind of had that real material focus, or they've kind of chased hollow things, or, it's left you feeling hollow. It's, there's been kind of fear-based motivations that, drove things to go the way that they went. And overlaid over Hades, what I'm getting here is that without full processing of that fear-based material, that, you could potentially carry that into like future scenarios. And I think, that's what I was alluding to earlier with Hades. It's about finding an appropriate way of acknowledging and then releasing that material so that it doesn't carry forward with you, because it will only hold you back. Let's have a look at the foundation and see if it further illustrates like the dynamic. Okay, yeah, so you've pulled the Three of Wands here in the reverse in your foundations. And the Three of Wands speaks to like a sense of looking out over the horizon and, seeing that all of your effort, all of the work that you've done is building to something. And, it's kind of like a really positive outlook. And given that it's in the reverse here, what I'm getting is that like there's a sense of you should have that feeling, and yet for whatever reason you don't. This could be because, if we look at the Mammon card, like there's been that fear-based response that you've become so used to that you no longer allow yourself to feel invested in or feel excited over certain things because you expect that they won't manifest, or that in some way they will be kind of soured or taken away, or not able to be appreciated. In the recent past, let's see. Yeah, Temperance. So you've pulled Temperance over here in the recent past. And one of the ways of looking at Temperance is kind of like, if the life gives you lemons, you know, make lemonade. And I don't mean to sound trite or to minimize the situation. But what I will say is that there are almost infinite amount of things in this world that you can't control. And then there's one thing that you can control infinitely, and that's how we respond to things. And the most productive response to situations that we don't like is not to ruminate over them. It's not to wish that they were different. It's not to rage against them. It's rather to accept, like recognize, you know, what's happening or has happened, allow it to happen, and allow internally the kind of space for it to allow. Like, rather than resisting, it's about going, okay, well, this thing is happening. The more kind of we invest in like resisting, the only person that impacts ultimately is us, because we continue to be locked in with this energy rather than moving forward from it. And to move forward from it, we need to integrate, you know, whatever it is, the, you know, feelings of frustration, the feelings of fear, the feelings of anger. These only are released when we've recognized them and allowed them, and then that's the integration, right? So as it relates to this person and the situation that you've been having, I would invite you to reflect on what parts of it do sit with you and do you own, and what parts of it are you going to release. And that's the integration work. Like, we're not here to do anyone's work for them. We're here to do our work. And so you only need to do the bits that are yours to claim and hold and heal. Let's now move to the expected outcome. Yeah, you've pulled the 8 of Pentacles here. And the 8 of Pentacles kind of speaks to work that is somehow meaningful or kind of like feeds our soul. You might even say vocation rather than sort of like employment. It's a sense of when we do this thing, it feeds our inner kind of fire, which is why I've chosen the image of like the blacksmith here, because it does, although the Pentacles is an earth element, the suit is, it's an earth element. There is like a kind of an underlying current of fire that kind of permeates the 8 of Pentacles card, because it is about finding that thing that drives you and investing your time into it because it has fruitful returns for us. So I'm getting a sense that whoever this person is or this situation is, like, it's been blocking you from being able to find that sense of passion, and you're kind of sitting there going like, what is wrong? Like, I have always wanted to do this and now I'm doing this, and for whatever reason it feels empty, it feels hollow. And that's the Mammon influence there, right? Like, it's almost as if something is sucking out the joy of what you know, like logically should be something that you're overjoyed to be doing, and for whatever reason, like, it's just not landing. It's because that release needs to be done. Like, get that bad juju out, Because that's, once you do that, like, I think it's all going to be golden. Yeah. All right, so in the near future, you've pulled the Seven of Swords in reverse. And the Seven of Swords speaks to someone who has used deception or underhanded tactics, or is sneaking in order to kind of further their agenda. And having that card kind of in the reverse in your like upcoming future says to me that that energy, that perhaps even that person, their influence over your kind of current situation is going to dissipate and dissolve. Whether or not there'll be any kind of, major sort of like reckoning or acknowledgement, that's to be seen. But the good news is that certainly their influence in your life is no longer gonna have the impacts that it has been having. So I say, wash your hands of it. The universe always settles karmic debts. We might not be around to see that. It might happen in this lifetime, it might happen in another lifetime, but I'm getting the sense here that the situation is going to resolve nicely for you, and you won't have to think about this person at all anymore. All right, that's all I have for you, Capricorn. I look forward to connecting with you again. Thanks for coming. Well, that's all I've got for you this month. So thanks again for tuning in and watching. If you'd like to learn more about the cards, read the profiles of the divine masculine archetypes and more, you can do that all on my website, and the link to that is in the video description below. Some insights take time to emerge, so sit with the messages and use your discernment to determine what's for you and what to leave behind. Feel free to leave comments below. I love hearing your feedback on what parts resonated. And don't forget to like and subscribe so that you don't miss your next reading. You might also consider checking out your moon, rising, and Venus signs for additional insights. Until next time, allow the moonlight to reveal your way and trust that you're on the right path. This is Artemis, Oracle and Tarot. Divine what can't be seen by day, and behold, with new perspective, that which stalked in the night. See you in the next one. You've been watching Artemis, Oracle and Tarot, a sacred space for healing for those on the moonlit path. Join us here on YouTube for monthly tarot readings by astrology sign and deep dives into the imagery and symbolism used in the making of our unique Artemis, Oracle and Tarot decks. If having a space to work through the unpleasant but necessary parts of adulting sounds good to you, like and subscribe here on YouTube and follow us on Instagram so you never miss a beat. All links are in the description below.